We need to have empathy for other people. See, a healthy quality, a healthy character asset is to have empathy for others, to feel for others. And with this apathy that is progressive in your sex addiction, we begin to objectify people. They're objects, objects to use for our own selfish desire, our desire to be sexually satisfied. And when we're really deep in our sex addiction, we don't even care if we're objectified. It's part of the disease of the mind. Hey guys, I'm behavioral health and sex addiction recovery coach Rob Lopicola, and I am here today to talk with you about 3 of the greatest consequences that you're experiencing in your sex addiction, and then 3 of the most important factors needed for you to change your life, to break free from your sex addiction and experience a life of healthy sexual expression. Sex addiction affects nearly 30 million Americans and nearly 2 billion people around the world. And if you are sex addicted, you are not alone. And if you're at a point in your sex addiction where you feel hopeless, you have been trying and trying again to stop your sexual behaviors to no avail. If you're sex addicted, it is likely that you have made promises to yourself that you're going to stop, and yet again, you're off to the races with your sex addiction. Sex addiction is progressive. Sex addiction will absolutely destroy your life, your marriages, your career, your financial stability, your confidence, your self-esteem. It'll break down your spirit and bring you to a place of desperation, a place of hopelessness if you're not there already. Studies have shown that nearly 20% of sex addicts who are in a hopeless state of mind and body from failing to gain control of their sexual behavior attempt suicide. Yes, nearly 20% of sex addicts attempt suicide, and nearly 70% consider ending their lives because of the hopeless condition of their mind. Sex addiction, if you are sex addicted, will win, will destroy, unless you begin to change your life. And if you are sex addicted, and I'm assuming you are because you're here, this is what my channel is about. I offer strategies, techniques, experience, strength, and hope about my sex addiction, which I am many, many years free now from the grip of active sex addiction and compulsive sexual behavior and the shame that comes with it. If this is you, subscribe to my channel. This is what I do here. Hit the like button. Help me out. The more likes, the more subscribers, the more I get out there. You know how the algorithm works. If you've watched videos on YouTube, you know that everyone asks you to do that, and it is to help the YouTube channel to expand and help more people. Well, anyway, let's talk about it. I want to talk with you today about the 3 consequences of sex addiction, and the first consequence, the most fundamental consequence of your sex addiction, is shame. And shame is progressive. The shame that is associated with sex addiction is progressive. Yes, the feeling of shame will deepen and grow and become more intense. And you probably have already witnessed the shame that you feel has grown and become progressive through the course of your addiction, whether it's been years or decades or months. Maybe you're new to your compulsive sexual behaviors. Studies show that most sex addicts are already addicted to certain compulsive behaviors, certain sexual behaviors by 18 years old. And most sex addicts who seek help that are finally ready to break the pattern of sex addiction in their life are generally around 37 years old. So many sex addicts go decades in the progressive nature of their addiction before they're willing to finally break the cycle and humble themselves to get help. But shame is one of the most detrimental of the consequences of your sex addiction, because with it comes a negative and sometimes self-abusing internal dialogue. With it comes the hopelessness and the despair, and with that shame comes secrets and guilt and regret. And secrets in sex addiction, well, the sex addiction thrives on those secrets because you feel horrible about the secrets you've kept. You feel as though you're walking around life wearing masks and you're lying to people, hiding those secrets. And if you're in a relationship, you're likely deceiving your partner by your behaviors, whether it's pornography or cheating or sex clubs or prostitutes, massage parlors. Whatever it is you're doing, it's likely you're keeping it a secret. That's enhancing the shame and the self-loathing and the self-hatred. So shame is a progressive consequence of your sex addiction. And the second powerful consequence of your sex addiction is the progressive nature of apathy. Yes, what happens in this addiction is you start losing the feeling or concern for your partner, for other people, for your employers, for your friends, for yourself. You start to lose concern for the priorities in your life. You start to lack, if you will, empathy for your significant other, the cheating and the lying and the deceiving, putting yourself in situations where you could be bringing home a sexually transmitted disease to your partner. You start losing concern for that, the pain and the agony that your behavior is causing your partner. And you're losing concern for yourself, for the losses in your life, the risks you're taking. We need to have empathy for other people. See, a healthy quality, a healthy character asset is to have empathy for others, to feel for others. And with this apathy that is progressive in your sex addiction, we begin to objectify people. They're objects to use for our own selfish desire, our desire to be sexually satisfied. And when we're really deep in our sex addiction, we don't even care if we're objectified. It's part of the disease of the mind. I'm okay being an object. I'm going to use you as an object. We're all objects to give us what we think we need to feel good. So apathy is progressive. And so is self-centeredness. Yes, self-centeredness is progressive. We start to lose concern for our priorities. All that we want is immediate gratification. And that is progressive. I don't know where you are in your sex addiction, how many years you've been stuck in your sex addiction. But the self-centeredness has progressed if you take a look at your history, and it will continue progressing. It will. Your priorities will fall at the wayside and you'll shrug them off. Immediate gratification, the self-centeredness of the disease of sex addiction, will make your job basically interfering with your sex addiction. Your job becomes a nuisance. Your relationships become a nuisance. The priorities become a nuisance because your priority has become immediate gratification to satisfy your perceived sexual needs. So these three are the greatest consequences. There's many of them. I could sit here all day and talk about the consequences of your sex addiction, but that covers the three biggest consequences, the most fundamental from your sex addiction. And I have to tell you, I get it. I was sex addicted for decades. My sex addiction was flourishing when I was 16 years old. Now 54, and I'm many, many years away from compulsive sexual behavior, which I'm grateful for. And I needed to use some strategies. I needed to do something to break the spell, if you will, of my sex addiction. And the first thing Now, the three fundamental factors that you need to change, there's three of them now. Now, there's many, but I just want to talk about three, is acknowledging that you have a problem. I mean, if you don't know you have a problem or you don't acknowledge it, you don't bring it to your awareness, you can't fix it. So you have to acknowledge and face the fact that I'm sex addicted. And, I had a hard time admitting I was sex addicted years ago. One, because I didn't want to stop. And if I admit it, well, then maybe I'm admitting I have a problem. Now I might have to do something about it. I didn't want to stop it. And secondly, I didn't want to lose control. I wanted to think I'm in control, and I wasn't really ready or willing to give up what I thought made me feel good. It didn't make me feel good. See, that's the illusion of it. The illusion is you think to feel good, to have an exciting life, to be thrilled in your experiencing of life is sex, and especially risky sexual behavior, especially exciting sexual behavior that gives you the rush. Anonymous sex, sex clubs, bathhouses, glory holes, massage parlors, prostitutes, strip joints, sex clubs, Grindr, Tinder, Bumble, anonymous sex, hooking up, pornography. See, you think you need that to feel good, and you think you're feeling good. And how I am not giving up what makes me feel, but it doesn't make you feel good. It doesn't. What happens later on when you're done feeling good? The shame kicks in. That shame kicks in. You hate yourself. You feel hopeless. See, the illusion is you're feeling good, but it's a lie. The diseased mind, the sex addicted mind is lying to you, and you believe it. So much so, you're willing to risk losing everything, for the very thing that's destroying you, but you think it's what you need. Makes you feel good. Makes me feel good. And I get it, boy. You have no idea. Learn my story. I get it. I had to get to the point when I realized and admitted and acknowledged that I'm a sex addict, that it's bringing me to a point of total hopelessness and despair. And it did. It progressed to the point where I wanted to die. I was so hopeless. So hopeless. But I got to the point. This is the second important factor you need to change. I had the most sincere desire to change. I was done. So you have to get to the point where you're done. Are you done? My coach taught me that you can't make someone done. I cannot make you done with your sex addiction. Watching these videos, I'm here to help you, but I can't make you done. You have to be done. You need a true, honest, deep-rooted, meditative decision with conviction, the desire to change, because you're done. And are you done? You have to be done. You have to be to the point where it is more painful to stay the same than change. And I know you're caught up in the illusion. You need to keep doing these things to feel good, because life will be mundane and boring if you don't keep doing what you're doing, especially if you're also substance addicted to alcohol or cocaine or methamphetamine. Methamphetamine is a heck of a sex drug. I was addicted to meth as well. I'm free from meth for many, many, many years now. Thank goodness. So if you have substance abuse in there as well, it's enhancing your sex addiction. And now you think you need that too to feel good. Life would be boring. Sex would be boring without the methamphetamine or the alcohol. Lower your inhibitions and really bring much more excitement to sexual euphoria in your experiences. But again, it's an illusion. It's a lie that you've believed. It's not true. It's tearing your life apart. You hate yourself. Again, the shame, the secrets, the isolation, the self-loathing. So it's a fallacy. The disease has made you believe. And you believe it. I know you believe it. I know you're thinking if I stop all this, life will be boring. But if I keep doing it, I'm feeling hopeless. You almost feel like there's no way out of the misery. And boy, is there. That's again a lie. So you're believing lies that are untrue. That's why you need help. And that is the third factor for change. You have to seek professional help. Yes, you need help to change your thinking. The same mind in your life, your mind, that brought you to the point of this level of sex addiction or meth addiction or a combination of all of it, well, that same mindset can't fix the problem. Thinking about fixing it's not going to fix it with the same mindset that brought you here. You need help. You need guidance. You need coaching. You need community. You have to have the support. If you have an honest, true desire to change and you're done, and you can look at me in this video and admit honestly that you're a sex addict. If you can look in here and say, I am a sex addict and possibly a meth addict, an alcoholic, can you admit it all? Admit it to me here, right now, and get help. I was, according to my coach, one of the worst cases of sex addiction he's ever witnessed. And he's worked with a lot of sex addicts. And I was methamphetamine addicted for years and alcohol addicted for decades. I couldn't get off Grindr. Nothing could get me off Grindr. The hookups, the excitement of the hunt. Boy, did I love to hunt. Hours and hours of pornography, sex clubs, anonymous sex. Boy, do I get it. I was so wrapped up in the horror of what I thought I needed, what I thought made me feel good and feel complete. Because without it, who the heck am I going to be? Do you ever wonder who are you going to be if you're not high on meth? If that's your thing, maybe it's not. You might just be sex addicted. Do you ever think who you're going to be without the drugs, the alcohol, or the sex? Now, I don't want you to have a life without sex. That's not healthy. What I would coach you to do or want for you with help is to learn healthy sexual expression. That's the ultimate goal, is to express yourself in a healthy sexual way, free from the shame, guilt, secrecy, isolation, self-loathing, healthy sexual expression where you're confident and thriving and enjoying it and learning to live a life where you're thriving in all areas: relationships, career, financial, emotional, mental, spiritual, physical, companionship. I want you to have the real life, because there is a real life on the other side of this. And if you're watching this video and there's a part of you that doesn't want to give it up because you believe it's giving you what you need and it's making life exciting, I want you to close your eyes and really think about it. Yes, I know it feels good. I know what the illusion is. I know about the dopamine release in the brain and the rush of excitement. Yes, I know the feeling. But how do you feel when you're done with your 3-day binge, your 5-day binge, your 16-hour binge on pornography, your anonymous sex, unsafe, risky sex, lying to your partner? How do you really feel deep down inside? How would you really feel if you took off all the masks that you've been wearing and you sat down and you told somebody everything? Would you be humiliated? If you told your partner everything you've been doing, do you think your partner would stay with you? Or do you think that getting to know the real you, they might not want you? Do you feel like if they knew the real you, they wouldn't want you at your job, or they wouldn't want you in your relationship? Maybe your friends wouldn't want to hang out with you. The reason why I'm saying this is, think about how you really feel. How do you feel about yourself deep down inside? Do you feel inferior, like you don't fit in? Or do you feel like you're a liar? Do you feel like you're deceiving people? Do you feel like you're laughing, but deep down inside you're really lonely and broken and hurting You feel like you have a lot of pain inside and you're running from it to the sex and the drugs, and you just can't escape that feeling deep down inside that you've been running from for so long. I have news for you, my friend. You think that you want to run to the sex and the drugs. You think that you want to go there to feel good. And maybe there's been times when you fight it, you white knuckle it, and you say no because you really don't want to. You're going to hold to that promise this time, but the urge and craving is so strong. How do I handle the urges and cravings? I want you to understand something. You have pain inside of you. There's some part of you that's broken and hurting and lonely, feeling inferior on some level. Now, you might have some areas of your life that are okay, but in this area, you're struggling. And when that comes up, it hurts. It's painful. It's hard to cope with it. To just sit with your feelings could be scary, painful, uncomfortable, and have anxiety. That anxiety and restlessness and irritability and the itching in your skin and the fidgety, it feels like urges and cravings to go act out. But really, it's the stuff inside of you trying to come up. And I want to help you learn to deal with you. So I'm going to offer you right now, and I want you to do this. This video is ending. I want you to go to my website, sexaddictionrelief.com. Sexaddictionrelief.com. I'll have the link below. I have a 10-step strategy session. It's 30 minutes. It'll help you begin the process of breaking free from your sex addiction. Please watch the 10-step strategy session. It's going to help you. It's going to open your eyes to the possibilities. And I'm going to talk with you frankly and honestly in this video. You'll love it. Take a pen and notepad, write down some notes, and start healing, because there is a healing. There's another side to this. And I'm hopeful that you watch my video, and I'm offering you, when the video ends, I offer you a way to reach out to me for a complimentary strategy session to take a look at your addiction and your pattern and you. Take a look at you. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about where you're at, what you need, what you think you need, and how we can start getting you to the man that you want to be deep down inside. Let's break the cycle together. Do it. Click the link below, or just go to sexaddictionrelief.com and get into that 10-step strategy session. I post a new video every Tuesday, so subscribe to my channel, hit the thumbs up. If you want, hit the bell so you get notified when I post a new video every week on Tuesday. And I want to help you. I want to help you experience the change I did. And believe me, if I can do it, anybody can, including you. Thanks so much for spending this time with me, and you have a great day.